So, good morning and aloha, everyone. Shelley Sage Hart streaming live here on 2012 and beyond. And this morning, my guest is Dolphin Dave Jimenez, an amazing musician and visionary artist. And he is outside right now opening the portal for today's broadcast. Calling the directions. Woohoo!
Aloha. Hi, Shelly.
Hi.
So happy to be here.
Oh, this is fun. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Kadar. And Kadar is where?
He's in Switzerland.
In Switzerland, and we're in Maui. And I'm really excited to be here and have this opportunity to share with you and just give whatever insight I have in my life and experiences and 2012 and beyond. Being that this is the first introduction or the first idea of where we're at in this day and age. I'm still excited just listening up. Someone I read recently, laughter, do it often. It's really good, cheap medicine. You know, so I like practicing that. You know? Okay, I know what I want to start with is saying hi to family and friends who are watching now live, and new friends who had never met before, and to say hi to all the people who are watching on when this is replayed. I have one song I want to share to start, and this song is something that's been going on and traveling the world. I do dolphin retreats on the Big Island, which is really about the people loving each other and us growing together at this time on the planet, that we realize that we're not alone. The boat's getting bigger, Mother Earth, and this is one little chant I want to share that it's not hard at all, and it's really fun if you take a breath, and I'll do it more than once, and you can join in on that side if you feel like it, okay? So, okay, to the world, from the love, from Maui, something really simple. I love you well in Klima.
Yeah.
We do this at our dolphin retreats, communing with dolphins. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. Go back to the beginning. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. One more time. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. I like that the song is echoing around the world. I feel so strongly that generally my message is to love everyone everything. My little girl, Padma, sings this beautiful song like that. It's, I love everything. I love everyone. It's just a thrill to me. And I like to say thank you, Mom, for that, and my dad, because coming from a big family and a lot of dysfunction and seeing the way of the world right now, there was something that I got to experience in my life that gave me insights, personal insights I would like to share with you a few things. One of them is this idea that life itself right now really, truly is neutral. There's no intrinsic ideas that say this is good, this is bad, this is what should be, this is what shouldn't be. Generally, we're in this beautiful open field of life, a miracle, a gift, and so many simple ideas we've received, and as humans we tend to make it more complicated. And the simple idea is that what you put out is what you get back. That was a song. What you put out is what you get back. So put out love. It really works. You know, you get love back. And if you have doubt, if you have fear, that's kind of what's going on, and that's kind of what's coming back.
So that becomes like a reflection. If we're experiencing whatever we're experiencing is a reflection of what we're creating, what we're amplifying in our own.
How simple, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't it simple? That's the problem. Oh my God, it's too simple. It's like,
there's got to be more to it.
I look at most kids and they drum. You know, most kids drum and sing, and I mean, really, most kids I've seen, 8 out of 10. I haven't kept a real good track. I'm not a scientist in that way. I love studying life, people, our hearts, our consciousness. I kind of share this idea of gardening our consciousness from root to fruit. And I believe right now in the human existence, we're flowering, and the fruit's coming. You know, get ready for the fruit. And it's like the butterfly. It might not be the easiest process to get out of the cocoon and open our wings, but it's a process that's a natural process. So one of the things that helps me, there is a beautiful man named Daryl Anka, based in Los Angeles. Many years ago, I went and shared with him. He channels an energy. His experience is that he was riding his bike in LA with friends and saw this spaceship and this triangular ship, and then that spurred on something deep in his consciousness. And then actually a few days later, he was riding again his bike in LA and saw the triangular spaceship, and then, oh my God, that's opened a door for him. And basically, it was an idea that we're all here with some kind of maybe a little agenda before we were born. You know, that's for our soul path, our soul growth. And for him, it was an experience to meet other dimensions, other levels of consciousness, maybe insightful levels that not in our plight, in our situation. Maybe the idea is actually like future selves looking back at ourselves going, hey, we want to help you guys out, you know. Seem to be in a real lot of difficulty there. So things that helped me was the idea that Bashar shares, is that neutral idea. There's no real meaning into what you put into it. You could have an example of an event happening, and you just get people from different parts of the planet who grew up in different situations, different cultures, different religions, different friends, you know. And then they watch in a situation, and to one from this other part of the world loves the situation going on. The other one thinks it's the worst possible, and everything in between, the wheel, you know. And it just shows like everybody's looking at it from a different point of view and a different angle, and it's their truth. Everybody's truth is their truth. So one idea for, like, I see the wars, I see the problems, our pains, and we're kind of fighting for our truths. And I love the consciousness that we're getting rooted in. The roots are that every truth is a truth. Everybody's a creator. It's not this way. It's not that way. It's both. It's this way and that way. And as many people that are living on the planet is another way. So that song, we want to empower you to be who you are. And right now, you know, that's the idea of go within, because oftentimes we're running our life by the outer and what the pressure that's on us we feel from our parents and our peers to to do kind of like what they want us to do, you know. So we're living in Maui, Hawaii, and I meet a lot of black sheeps, you know what I mean? And a lot of people who, in their families, were the ones who are like, well, I got to get out of here. I got to do something, or I have a vision. I love my family, but I need to do this. And this morning I met someone who just arrived here from Los Angeles, like, to live their dream. And I was asking her some questions, you know. You know, like, well, what's going on in the city these days? And she says her friends are like, I wish I could go. The traffic, you know, the pressure. I need nature. And it was really good to feel her come here, you know, like fresh into her dream. You know? Yeah. And hopefully when you do things like that, you realize that you're letting go of the things you don't want in your life. When you're coming into... times are accelerating so much. When I was young and the news was on, it was basically ABC, NBC, CBS. And if you turned them, they all had the same news, almost exactly, you know. And that's what I love about this internet now these days, that's showing the reflection of our self-empowerment, that I could share news with you, Shally, and everyone can. But I'm realizing that, you know, most people on computers, most people on the planet now are living in cities. And I grew up in Los Angeles myself. And what I want to share with that is there's so many incredibly smart people that are bringing through beautiful things. And I'm in the neutrals. I'm in the middle zone. I'm not super smart. I'm not anything beyond being kind of a hub for consciousness. It's because it's about love. Yeah. I got a question right now about sharing my artwork and its importance it has within my life. Yeah, thank you. When I was a child, my parents said, you know, the God-given gifts you have, that's what you use your gifts. Don't waste them, use them. And I've always loved nature. I want to put some up. Shally's going to hold up this picture. You see it up there. It's close. This idea, I work with the dolphins in many forms. And this idea is that their attunement with nature is supporting us, the human consciousness, the humans. And a lot of people love to swim with the dolphins. It's kind of a dream for them. And I get to share that dream and take them into the water. Many people who are what we call cats in the water, they scared, maybe can't swim, but they really want to get in. And I see their life transform. You can go to another one. So I paint the dolphins and the happiness of the dolphins because I see it brings happiness to people. I do a lot of mural work because I'm not a full-brained artist. I'm more on one side. I like doing the art and not marketing or selling much of anything. So mural work means it goes directly to the place it's going to be. And then we take a picture, then we could share it along.
It seems like there's a real power in creating murals, too, in the sense that it directly affects the experience, the space. It affects the space. Like
Absolutely.
It brings the vibration of the...
I recommend artwork, murals all over all the schools. When I've seen schools that are what you might consider, you know, like a new paradigm for teaching and stuff, there's definitely lots of art, not just plain walls. Even give the kids just walls just to go and just express themselves without any judgment of the process. This is part of that birthing experience, part of the support of the dolphins. Okay, it's good. This has to do with 2012 and the Mayans. This is what's on my interpretation of Palenque, on the tomb in Palenque. Why not? So everybody out there, I guess your head's sideways. You got to balance it out by turning it the other way too. You can balance out their neck.
So this is a mural, right? That you did
it's a
somewhere
door.
in LA, or
turn it upside. Right.
Ooh, this is one of my favorites.
The whale, oh boy, big consciousness, big, beautiful, incredible consciousness. And as people, we've been connecting a lot with the dolphins over these years. They're playful, we can relate with them. And now more and more of people I experience really want to be with the whales. And I believe the whales are showing us, you know, that connection to the bigger universe, the bigger selves that we are. At nighttime here in Maui, we see a lot of stars. And I know in the cities, it's definitely hardly see nearly as many stars as we can see here. But when you can, and if you can, get out to a hilltop, get out of the lights, and really take a look up at the stars, and let that be your advertisement for a while. You know, we get hit with so much information daily. When you look at the stars and you get to see that we're flying around in infinite space, it gives you that a different perspective of life, you know, because we're so in our we're caught up in our day-to-day realities and our place of paying the next month. You know, we're on that kind of timing. So I share with the whales, it's a bigger sense of timing, what the whales do. You know, 6 months of eating, 6 months of making love and singing, type of like that.
And giving birth, that's part of what they're doing here too, right? They come down to these waters to give birth.
We hardly know what whales and dolphins are doing in the sea. We experience them a little bit during the day. And here you go. And this is something I experienced doing dolphin retreats and seeing people get to experience the dream. And there's other people, while people want to swim and connect with each other, there's people who get upset in that experience. And I have friends who are on what I would call the front lines. The Whale Man Foundation, Save the Whales Again, Jeff Pantanoff and Hayden Panettiere. You know, work with other people like Paul Watson and Surfers for Cetaceans and people who are out there in Taiji, Japan, where in the cove where they're killing the dolphins, Rick Barry and them, and anything, even putting it out to all of them, anybody who's doing that work. If I can help through art, through song, through my spirit, I'm open and willing. And to let you guys know, here you go, that you can chat. There's a live chat. You can ask questions here. This goes like this. Let me do this for you. This has to do, can you hold it down?
Yeah.
It goes like that. Get it close. The idea here is that the whale's singing to the planet and the songs permeating the planet. And in that journey, this one is kind of receiving it. What got me to these pictures...
This is the reception.
Get that closer and keep it still. Okay. Yeah, don't talk. It's like, I'm trying to make it so you can actually see
I
it.
know. Sorry, everyone, about that.
You could do the little dance.
I can't see much, so it's kind of an adjustment here. But
well, Nassim Haramein, who's living on Kauai now, is a physicist, scientist of today. And many others out there, like when the light bulb came in, it's like it's coming to the planet this time. Nikola Tesla brought some incredible information and then was kind of repressed. And now it can't be repressed. All this information is coming out of how the energy is free. It can totally be free. And we have all of these technologies and things now ready to be put into place. Okay.
So that's part of what this painting is about?
Well,
is receiving the new energies.
It has to do with the grids and PowerPoints on the planet. You know, like even on your body, there's places that you might touch that feels better than others. Or, you know, there's the belly button, the connection. And Big Island itself feels like the belly button of the planet to me because it's ever flowing. But Nassim Haramein on the Resonance Project, I just love his work. I think he's bringing in some great information for the people, and he wants us to understand our connection to all things in a scientific way. And that's what we're receiving now. People are getting to see science sharing with you know, the faith and spirituality. They're coming together.
So you've received a lot from that understanding that things are shifting in terms of the science, in terms of the way that we perceive reality, and then you've integrated that into your paintings with using a lot of the sacred geometry and the consciousness, like weaving the consciousness into your art.
It's funny because I'm not the best at the geometry. Yeah. I might be it might be intuitive geometry. But even this piece I have on here, see if you can see this. It's a really beautiful piece, Gabriel Star Child on the Big Island. And like crop circles, I've noticed a lot of people notice this, and it just touches a point somewhere in our consciousness, especially at this time, the whole idea of evolution and the root to fruit. You know, we're in a different space and time in our consciousness than we ever were. And the things like the crop circles and more sightings of things we don't understand quite yet, you know, are what's these things are symbolic of. You know, I just see people just like, oh wow, what's that? You know, more. So last week, Will and Klima. Last week we were at Will and Klima's, and they're sharing their geometries like this, and they're like, well, let's live in that. You know, because so many of us are in our boxes, our rectangles, you know, and it's reflective of our life. You know, like, hey, we're in the box. You know. You can share that. It's for Paradise Cove.
Yeah. I feel too that just the more that we have the geometries in our artwork, and we begin to see and experience that reflected to us, the more we can actually just work with those frequencies in our mind's eye as well. Like, so we begin to understand the frequencies on a deeper level when we can see them visually. And I'm wondering if you could share with us a little bit more about how you feel, what's the role of visionary artists at this time on the planet, since this is such a potent time? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What's
okay,
the
I have
job?
a question. What's the role of visionary artist? Well, that's obvious. Okay. Okay. The role of visionary artist. For me, I can only speak for myself in this one. Like I said earlier, you know, when I was young, one of the things that stuck is use your gifts. And yes, I'm a visionary because I've always envisioned love on this planet. And the idea that we're masters of limitation, because every time we start sharing love, I get so much doubt and people. Okay, let's watch us. My visionary art is about the heart. It's about people connecting with each other. I was guided to be with dolphins and whales and cetaceans, and on this planet, to me, they're like the humans of the sea, and we're like the dolphins of the land. You know, like, there's so much magic there that we don't quite understand, and you got to kind of put yourself in the body of a dolphin, and they're like, what are those people doing? I mean, ultimately, I have one little vision of where we're swimming, and we organically, all the people in the water, decide that we want to unite with each other. And because oftentimes when I'm under the water and I look up, I see a lot of chaos in the water. You know? And I think it's reflective of the chaos on the planet.
Chaos and the people swimming around in the water, or just...
Yeah, well, oftentimes, you know, it's not where... dolphins, I mean, they're supernatural. It's their home base. And for people, oftentimes, it's a dream. A lot of the people there, I'm realizing right now, you know, it's their first time. Or there's people that go there often in many bays around the planet to swim with the dolphins. And there's great communing, connecting that's happening with each other. And want to bring it out, you know, how to share this. So I've been swimming with dolphins for years. There was a point when I'm like, this is exciting, but not like I know it could be. And that's the level where it's like, we've got to share this, you know. So I love sharing that people come and feel safe and supported, you know, to have an experience like how simple a natural experience on this planet to get into the ocean and experience these beings. It's not a mind thing; it's a feeling thing. I've seen so many people decide like it awakened their body, their conscious body, you know, and they knew they couldn't go back to the place that wasn't feeling right to them, you know. And often people are doing jobs that don't really feel right to them. They'd rather live their dream fuller, but they're kind of comfort in that uncomfortableness, you know. There's more so than stepping out, you know. So the people in your lives who do step out, you know, support them. Check them. They're part of you. I recently...
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But I recently heard something of, you know, it's a scientific idea, study,
when watching someone else have the experience in our brain waves, I think we actually are having a brainwave experience that's the same, right? Even if our body's not physically having it, somebody being hurt, it's like, oh my God, you're feeling that distress. Somebody being loved, the child laughing, and I get giggles in me, even if I'm really far away. So the idea is today, share more smiles and laughs and love than you did yesterday. 2012 and beyond. Every day, share more love and laughs than you did the day before. That's beyond, just the idea itself that 2012 is a thing that is all over the planet, from cultures that weren't in this day and age, that did this before we came here. Just that our consciousness is coming to this idea is already feels like a big leap in evolution event. Nothing has to happen anywhere else. Just that all the people on the planet are like, something's up. Is going to make something big happen.
And I think we all are acutely aware that transformation is possible on the planet. That some things could change for the better.
Sure. Well, not as beyond. Wait, can I interrupt on that one?
Yeah, please.
Transformation is always happening.
Yeah.
Not only possible, it's going to be. It never stops, right?
Yeah. So it's inevitable, actually.
It's inevitable. It's happening right now.
And I also believe that we're creating the transformation with where we put our attention. Where our attention is naturally the energy moves in the direction of where we have our intent.
Well, more and more and more, the shows like this are coming on. Just that this show could be here and we could share. Is a great sign of the transformations.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Get out in nature. And I feel my Aboriginal friends in Australia saying, sit by the fire. If you can have a fire, more fires, sit by the fire and peer into the fire there and share with your friends, storytelling, singing, just simple things like that. I love to play the drum. I feel guided to play the drum these days because I feel like it's a sign of the times. It's part of my visionary work as an artist, is drumming. And I'm pretty good at it. It's like, so I wouldn't do it if I wasn't good because I know it affects the realm. It affects everything going on. And I don't do African drumming. I don't do Brazilian drumming. I call it dolphin drumming. Dolphin drumming is what I do. I could teach you. It's all about the moment. It's all about the moment and what's going on around you. You could see and feel the energies and rhythms of your presence. And I do believe those rhythms that many people are playing these days came from a beautiful sacred spot. The African rhythms and any rhythms around the planet started somewhere. And for me, it's about rhythms that could start from now, from the now, from what's going on today. Let's hear some of that drumming. I love to share some drumming with you. Just to give you a little upbeat. I like playing two drums. I think that has to do with, sometimes I think of that when I play two drums. I hear this story somewhere where two or more are gathered, there I am.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a little bit. Cause I'm like, if I saw one person, I could just imagine one person dancing out there, or like part of it, and then the rhythm will go a little more. But here's one fun one. I when I do this, it seems to change.
Ooh, wow! It feels like it brings the water element in. Wow.
I'll just do a little bit for right now. Is that okay?
Yeah,
I'll do a little bit later. Is that okay? How's that, Kadar?
That's great. We could probably go on for a long time. With the
Oh,
music,
God,
huh?
I actually don't want to stop.
I know.
There's that part where I go on and don't want to stop. But I love playing at gatherings and with circles of friends and on the beaches here, more organic things that I do. I feel like many, people who are really sharing in the world, go to these gathering spots, and I would love to do that, come to your places and share with you in circles. But I'm really mostly guided where everybody's in their day-to-day reality. More instruments. Here's a fun. Let me just share this.
I have an idea too.
Share. Oh, okay. My friend made this. This is a Hawaiian nose flute.
Oh, wow. Made from bamboo?
It was a kind of a quickie raw making. It wasn't like the best. It's not tuned, the best tune, but it's played kind of like this.
Whoa, with your nose?
A Hawaiian nose flute. Yeah.
Whoa.
Out of bamboo. Let's see if I can. You got to practice playing really soft. That's a good practice, We tend to
So it's just like a gentle,
so gentle
stream of air from your nose. Huh?
I got to really slow down.
Whoa.
It's not really that tuned in this song. Well, let's pull out the other didge.
Yeah, but wait a minute. I want to just ask you something real quick before we get into the didge. How did you meet the Aborigines? The Aborigines that how did that come about? And if you could introduce how you got into didge playing.
Okay, we'll do both. Okay, because I really want to hear it and feel it. Okay,
yeah.
Kim Kindersley, Whale Dreamers. There's a movie out, whaledreamers.com, and my friend Kim Kindersley, passion-hearted, beautiful brother. I love him so much, and I miss him because he's been on the other side of the world for a while that I haven't been there. He traveled the planet and met dolphins and whales, and then this indigenous tribe called the Murning in Australia called to him and said, maybe he can help. And he saw this tribe do their whale song, calling. And when he experienced this, the whales, the right whales, southern right whales off the southern coast of Australia, looked up, and these guys were on the cliff singing. They came out of the water, heads up, they call sky hopping. And what he witnessed was as they were singing, they looked up, acknowledged him, swam over like dolphins kind of fast, came right under him, and roared in acknowledgement. Just like, whoa! And that shook my brother Kim. Wow. It's like, oh my God, this is real. I want to support this tribe. And who were a similar story around the world with indigenous tribes. There was nuclear testing being done inland. The tribe that was inland by the nuclear testing was being radiation all over the land and in their bodies and their blood and DNA. So the government wanted to move them, that tribe that was being affected by the radiation. So they thought, well, this tribe on the coast, the Murnings, they're extinct. Let's move them there. They gave them a 99-year lease. but they're not extinct, and that's their dreaming place, their connection with the whales. So my friend Kim said, we need to have a gathering to support you and show this to the world. And you could see it. This was done 12 years ago, I think now, or 13, 12 years ago. You could see it in a movie called Whale Dreamers that was produced by Julian Lennon. And I give thanks to Kim and Julian and all the people who supported that, a big group of people.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite movies out right now. I could just watch it over and over again because I gained so much joy from the fact that it demonstrates to us how a group of people can come together and share their wisdom from all around. It brings the rainbow circle together.
Oh, God.
And it shows us the whales, like that deep connection that humanity has with the whales, and the relationship between humanity and the evolutionary process on the planet. So I'm so grateful to you for sharing that movie with me, and for the opportunity to let other people know about it and to be a part of that, and through knowing you.
Thank you.
The wisdom that comes through.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, like that, I'm grateful that I got to be part of that and part of this. So I'll share a little didgeridoo. It goes with the Aboriginal. I feel like I have an Aboriginal guide around. So a little didgeridoo. You could breathe in for a minute. It won't be so, what do you call it? So cerebral. So everybody out there, friends, just for a moment, take a breath, relax. This is like in the key of Earth C. It's an Earth C. Earthy C. Just a little whale song in there. We're so blessed right now to be here on Maui. The whales are in our waters, or in their waters, singing their songs and making love, telling stories, and playing games, jumping out of the water and thrilling all the people. It's really incredible to experience that like this. So many tons of the water with just a couple strokes of the biggest muscles on the planet, taking these huge whales out. So I was going to the boat to go play on the boat the other day, and this is what's great these days, paddle boards, you know. And going to Lahaina on the west side of Maui, I'm driving towards the wharf, the ramp to get on the boat, but a few miles before there, I'm watching a paddleboarder out in the water, and it's just flat. It's like flat out from me. I'm like, oh, that's so neat. And right next to him, only 10 feet away, the whale jumps out of the water and like splashes, like, and you could see him like, whoa, balance. I'm like,
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, oh, I had to pull over, like, whoa, I got to paint it or something. It was like part of the vision, paint the vision. That's what my job is as an artist. Like, I saw this beautiful vision. I would like the world to see this, you know. And the whale did it again and again. And I would love to talk to this guy.
He must have had an amazing day.
And so did we on the boat. I mean, the whales are everywhere, and like they're becoming friendlier and friendlier. And I believe it's like our consciousness idea. As we want to relate to them more, the more, you know, what you put out, you get back. You know, we don't want to kill them as much. Some people do. It's their livelihood or their fear to let go of that. And so there's a sense of compassion to have even with people. People you may not like what they're doing, but you can start with walking in their shoes, have some compassion and empathy, and believe, and know that that's their truth. Somewhere in them, they feel they're doing right. You know?
Yeah.
And you may have a definite picture like that doesn't feel right, but that's the idea of it's neutral, you know. So when people could feel felt and understood, then there's a sense of unity that comes in. You know, it's like, oh, you're not just against me, you actually can understand me. And if you can hear people and really hear them, then there's a sense where you can meet each other. And then if you want to be heard, much better. You can be heard, you know, because if they're not heard, it's still just an argument and it's just kind of hitting each other's fields, but not really coming in and communing with each other. So it's great if you can do it. Hear somebody, really hear where they're from and what they're feeling in their hearts, and more we could do that. And then when we have to share, we'll be heard. Otherwise, you know, we might be talking a lot and sharing a lot, but it's not going anywhere. It's not except bouncing back at ourselves and maybe getting frustrated, you know, because we want our point to get across, you know. So imagine this idea that you can hear people because you feel so good inside. You know, I'm choosing to feel good inside. I can receive you. Because I feel like we want to be heard because we're still fighting to discover who we truly are ourselves. So we're almost fighting to like, someone agree with me. You know? All right, you agree with me. I guess I'm not crazy. Here's a question. What is your biggest dream for the future? Thank you for the question. My biggest dream for the future. People understand their connection to life itself. To everyone and everything. People realize that this is a miracle. It's a great gift. In this connection, we feel a deep sense of gratitude. That we're empowered. I believe 2012 itself is like an end of a cycle, an end of what I would call a series As the World Turns, All My Children. I like those old soap operas. It's like the series has been going on for a long time, and 2012 says, hey, that's the end of your contract. You're going to choose a new role in a new game. It's called joy and love and connectiveness. And I feel strongly that my biggest dream for it is that we realize there's a big sense of energy going on. I hear this a lot, you know. They're doing this. And do you hear what they did? And they did this and they did that. So in the future, no one's saying they. I did this or we did this, you know, because they has a sense to me of there's a power over us, you know. And this connection right here, this why I want to share here, is where we realize the power within us and the power between all of us that aren't the main media, you know, trying to put it in our face and tell us what the news is. This is the power, you and me, you know, connecting to, I could talk right now from Maui and you're hearing me in Europe and wherever you're at.
Yeah, all around
the This world. Is the power. And like in Egypt right now, what do? They try to take the power away from the people. Let's turn the internet off where they were communicating with each other. Here it is, we're being greatly affected by this right now. And I really love and support the energy that's going there. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but there's an uprising and a revolution that the people realize that together in peace and love, that we can make great changes and help teach the children. You know, my biggest dream for the future is that we're resolving these things, that we can heal the oceans, that we can heal the rivers, that this for our children's children to have a beautiful place to live, because our resources are being so depleted right now. The biggest dream for the future is that now that we're realizing our connection to life itself, that we get so far away from the packaging that's going, the packaging. Or I really truly believe, right now is, if we switched all the money that goes into war, and we have a healed earth, we feed all the people. The resolutions to the world being in a utopia are all here. There's been a lot of guidance of fear. I feel like we've been guided that way. My biggest dream. Thank you for this. Is part of it right now. Is that we commune with the whales and dolphins. We open up to another level of communication within us. That part of our brain that we say we're not using, most of it, is activated, where we start using it more. And I believe it starts with the heart. There's some studies that say, the brain's really in the heart. Whatever you want to believe. I feel it's one whole being. As a human, as we've had a tendency to separate things. Subconscious, conscious, superconscious, and my dream for the future is we bring it back together. Wholeness, whole consciousness. Yeah. And I have love and compassion for what has happened to bring us to this point. I believe there's also from Bashar his sharing is the rubber band analogy, which works in my life greatly. Because it's the idea that we've been pulling back. We're the masters in this game of limitation. Oh, wow, we're close to the end already.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, time flew.
There's so much to share.
I know, I was kind of trying to fill a lot in a moment. And I did want to finish with the same song we started, ultimately, because I like that echoing on. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how fast this time has flown.
But we can go on. We can go on until we feel like we've come to a good completion. So, if you want to finish what you were saying about the rubber band,
okay,
effect.
Yeah, the rubber band analogy shared by Darren Lanka by Bashar, and all this you could look up on YouTube. Rubber band analogy.
It's there.
Yeah. And the idea is that we've been playing this game of limitation, and we're the masters of it. It's greatly mastered. This is something important. Look in your conversations daily with friends, and there's a point when I've noticed this often. A friend will put out a limitation of, it's so hard, it's so difficult, it's so, and kind of looking for an affirmation, and usually a friend will say, yeah, it is. And that idea is like we're keeping it in place, this game, So I like to breathe and say, well, I could see how it is for you, but not necessarily, it doesn't have to be. Just to open it up and break it up. We don't have to keep affirming this limitation.
Yeah, and I would like to affirm that every time that you've done that for me, like in a time when I've been in a space of complaining or feeling whatever, in some kind of rigid belief, and you don't go along with it, it's been helpful.
It's helpful.
I'm like, oh, okay. There's a little part of me that's always like, he's not going along. Like suddenly I'm like, oh. But ultimately it's been good because it's challenged me to break free.
Awesome. Thank you.
I appreciate that about you. Yeah.
And I attempt not to do it in a way that's denying your truth of what you just shared. I'm not doing this. I receive that. I could see that that's what's real for you. And there's another way. Could be another way. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. That was going fast. I want to slow it down. Are you ready? Take it back. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. Ooh, again. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. Ooh, again. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. Again. We are an old family. We are a new family. We are the same family, stronger than before. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. We honor you. We empower you to be who you are. With unconditional love. No conditions to this love. We're going to love you forever, for always, for being